Missouri. This is the Seyberts Women's Open, and we've got another exciting match coming up for you as we have Shashalu from China facing Sakura Muramatsu from Japan. The game is 10-ball. It's best out of 3 sets, races to 4. And in the commentary box for this match is myself, Tim de Ruiter, gladly joined by my good friend and colleague Arya Sarabi. Welcome back, Arya. We've got another great matchup coming up.
Thanks, Tim. It was just too much fun with you in the commentary box. I refuse to leave you. So let's see how we can see this match unfold. Shashalu, 3 times world 9-ball champion. And I tried to do some research on Miss Muramatsu, but she's not established herself in the international scene as this young lady here in our screen. Her first world championship she won in 2009, so she's been around the block. Be interesting to see how this match will unfold.
Yeah, I have to say, yesterday I actually got to witness Muramatsu's first loss in the event, caused by Savannah Easton. But you would say, maybe some people would ask themselves, how could that happen or in any way? But Savannah did play really well on her. I don't actually think she really had a chance to win that match either. So just hoping to see a bit more from her, you know, like I barely got to see her play. That's a bit brutal. So let's see. Shashalu is going to take this match on the way. Nice cut break. 1 ball dropping into the center. Now already a tough opener on the 2.
Well, she is called the 2-ball, Tim, so that would indicate she is going for the attack. Yeah, tried to hit the, well, not even hit the 4, but if she was trying to hit the other part of the 4-ball. And she can see just a small portion of the 3-ball, so the safety now also becomes very challenging.
Yeah, I was trying to nestle the cue ball 1 rail, but I have to say that was such a small, delicate shot to play. I think she was most likely, if she had caught it a bit fuller, she was most likely going to hit the 4-ball a bit fuller. Yeah, so starting off with a 3-6 combination. Now the 9 is blocking, is a little bit blocked by the 10. Overall, I don't think too much issues on the table.
She's got options here. I mean, she doesn't have to play a nudge on the 8-ball, but that is a shot available to her. Doesn't come without risks, though. Yeah, she's playing this with inside, so trying to cross over. With a decent bump of the side rail, I would have thought. I mean, this pot is still doable, but you have to make this now with a bit more pace, come off 2, possibly 3 rails And as we've seen throughout the event, these middle pockets are very unforgiving. Maybe she can go forward with some inside. No. So she'll play this with some power.
No, she's even opted to play safe.
That's one thing I never saw coming. But look, I think she might have just left an edge. To the point where if it's just an edge, you could see her call the 5.
Yeah, the only thing is, I mean, I'd rather not go for a cut. I'd rather just spread the balls, you know, play the opposite sides. I just don't think going for the cut has any value.
Well, safe to say that was not what she had in mind.
Yeah, I could go aggressive on the bank, would give the shape. But she's not feeling it. Trying to nestle up behind that cluster, I feel, but the only thing that has happened is actually everything got a bit more awkward queuing over the 9, possibly even later on to get from the 9 to the 10. Now, if she lands straight enough on the 9, everything should be fine to get that shape onto the 10. I was more thinking, imagine you land with more distance or more cut into the 9, then you're forced into running into the 10. Last thing, obviously, if you can avoid it, you're trying to not run into balls.
Yeah, probably leave your cue ball more or less where the 9 is. Just roll it in. Or can she just draw past it? That would be a lot easier if she could. Yeah. She was straight enough to do that. That's obviously the better option. So she's going to take the first rack.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy opener, you would say, from both sides. But it is Shashalu opening her account.
Now, Shashalu has a very interesting stat. She has a remarkable win rate against Yasmin Ushan. She's played her 6 times. She's beaten her 5, so that's 83.3% win rate. That is quite remarkable considering how big of a name Yasmin Ushan is in the sport.
Yeah, I have to say, these are stats I've never, ever actually heard about, but yeah, crazy numbers. I mean, the most difficult thing, though, for Sasha, I know she hasn't, like, she took a break from the scene for quite some years, and now that she's fully back, it's not always easy, knowing that maybe, like, in the past, when she was playing her best pool, she won, for example, World Championships. to then now perform the same way. But, I mean, she came back and right away was already right up there, right on top of the game. Fierce competitor. Will be a tough challenge for MURAMATSU.
Down. Like, one ball was very close. Both was pocket.
Yeah, tricky combination to play. And then you had the 4 and 8 locked up.
Yeah, as you can see, that 4 ball is still causing some trouble.
Well, it's gone to the short side now on the 3 ball. Is she going to find a way to even get behind or like into the 4-8? The only thing I can imagine is a safety behind the 10. Yeah, this is actually a pretty nasty safety if you consider the fact that if she manages to make the 3 ball, well, not from this angle, but if she was going to go over the top side of the table to make a hit on the 3 ball and make it, she would have been hooked on the 4.
I do wonder, Tim, what she's got in mind on this shot here. She tried to play something aggressive, but that 7 ball ruined the party. And if you can have another camera angle, I don't think, yeah, she's completely hooked on that 4 ball. Not even a 1 railer available to her, so I have to pray of 2 rails now around the back of the 7. There's a lot that can go wrong in this shot. I don't know about you, Tim. I really felt like that cue ball slid off the top rail. Have a look at this in the replay. felt like it came off strange for me.
Yeah, it does. Well, maybe not strange, but it did open up a bit, though. She did play that real soft. So maybe the pace she played to really... Well, obviously, the harder you hit it, the shorter everything is going to come out of the rail. So... Oh. Well, she did at least try to play another save, but now with the 6-ball not being there, the one rail escape will be a lot easier for Sasha. Actually, I like 2 rails. Try to skim off the 4. If you catch it a bit too full, you might even press it to the other side of the 8.
Yeah, so you can use that second diamond as a reference point if you're going for that second rail. Now, luckily enough, she hasn't left a hanger. But you would expect to be in a bit of trouble after this shot. She's got a good chance here, Sakura, to put her in some trouble, even though she's sending a cue ball downwards. But I felt like keeping her cue ball at the top end of the table, possibly send it towards the 9, would be the safer bet. Thin clip this 4, send it towards the bottom rail. She's going a different route. And I think she's played it well, you know.
Yeah, these shots always difficult to defend yourself against. Yeah, the only difference, though, I mean, from what I've seen, of course, yesterday and then now, the only difference is the fact that MURAMATSU is just not running out as often as I would like to see her do. Like, she's still playing, like, she's playing a clever game, like she's playing saves and she's not trying to, like, leak the balls all over the place. She's been kicking well, and I think overall everything has been fine, but just whenever she had the open opportunity on a rack like this, for example, there is the traveling from the 9 to the 10. She just doesn't always run out as much, so maybe I've seen a different MURAMATSU and she's gonna prove me else, and that's completely fine to me.
It kind of feels unnecessary risky to draw it straight back. Be probably more sensible to send the cue ball on and off the top rail. You can clearly see she's not completely made up her mind just yet. Kept it simple, that will work as well. And she's left herself an angle to come away from the side rail, so all in all, that was a good shot.
Yeah, still, it's either leave yourself a lot of angle and work the cue ball around from the 9 to the 10, or leave yourself quite straight and draw straight over. I don't think I like low left on this. Let's get pretty close to the center. You kind of have to, but just gotta watch a scratch into the right center pocket.
Well, what do you know, Tim? That middle pocket was always there, and as you mentioned, and that's a costly mistake. The most annoying part of these rotational games is when you put the penultimate ball and give your opponent the ball in hand, knowing that you're guaranteed to lose it. Part of the game, of course.
Yeah, but early on, quite some trouble for MURAMATSU. Yeah, 2-0 in the race to 4. Of course, she still has plenty of time. It's multiple sets, and the beginning is always nerve-wracking too. You know, you're always kind of testing the waters, and Shisha looking a bit more comfortable around the table. Now, what do we have? Cluster on the 2. 1 ball. I mean, she's checking to see if it goes into the center. I would say it does not go into the center.
I'll make it easy for you, Tim. What we have is a messy layout.
Yeah, could play a safety though. 2 rails above the 5. I think that's my play. The only thing is you got to be careful not to run into a piece of the 7.
She must feel she can see the 1 full enough to try and keep the cue ball here at this end. Well, nicely played. She made that 1 look easy, but actually, considering the angle she had on the 1, it had to be played to perfection, and I would say she's done that.
Yeah, I didn't think she had that much actually of the 1 ball, but indeed, this is quite a trap. I'm not even sure if she can go by the side pocket. No, is she going 1 rail behind the 9? Send the 1 ball towards the 10 too, because I don't mind like the line she actually played on the 1 ball to try and place it next to the 2 and the 10, but she's not really done much with the cue ball at all.
No, and yeah, I was about to say, I'm wondering if she will consider the rail first. Yeah, I like the pace he's played that at, but that's the problem. You have to be absolutely sure how much of the 10 you're going to hit there, which is very hard from that distance. Playing this one left-handed as well. It's a thin cut, Tim. It was a thin cut. And Yeah, I was about to say a little bit fortunate where that cue ball has ended up, but that 2-ball is, of course, pretty deep in the pocket, so she can afford to putt this pretty thin.
Yeah, but yet she won't be able to do so much with the cue ball.
Send the cue ball around the angles. We've seen these type of shots being missed numerous times already in this event. Not by her though. Cleanly in. Nice angle on the 4 as well.
Yeah, but then again, remember what I said last rack, the fact that she just doesn't close out as many racks as the top women players do. And I'm slightly worried because that 9-ball is in a very similar position as we've seen last rack, but then on the other side, there will be some traveling from the 9 to the 10. And also, I mean, still from 5 to the 6, maybe even to get decent on the 7. Like, there is quite some back and forth on the cue ball. So, I mean, I would like to see her get out here and build more confidence on it.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. I mean, when you look at the Fargo ratings of these two ladies, she's, well, 78 points below her opponent, Shasha Liu. And Shasha, her WPA ranking is currently sitting at 16th. And, you know, that nearly 80 points gap does explain what you were alluding to, is that she's, you know, finding it difficult to close out. But she'll have to come up with the goods, Tim. She's already 2 racks behind. Let's not forget it's a race to 4 and a best of 3 set. So this is one of those racks that she cannot really afford to lose just to, you know, keep this set alive.
Well, this is already a bit more of a cut, so the speed will be more difficult to hold the cue ball. That's why she's chosen to play the 7 into the side. And then now, like, this is where things get tricky. She will have to play with some inside spin to get closer to, like, towards the 8. But then on these sides, I don't really like to play with that spin and be a bit more pace. And I think the spin got her there. I mean, she had to be a bit straighter on the 6 to then still play to the bottom side of the 7. And this is what I mean. Like, I feel like most of the time she's doing all the hard work for then her opponents to get to the table and kind of just, I mean, these couple balls, the only thing Shasha will have to work on precisely is to get from the 9 to the 10.
Yeah, particularly a 9 and 10 ball, Tim. When you do all the hard work, it's quite draining. You see your opponent just make 1 or 2 shots and take the rack. It's a double-edged sword because on the one hand, you keep falling short. And on the other hand, the scoreline is just changing so rapidly, not in your favor. So, you know, missing compounds, but seeing your opponent do very little also doesn't encourage you. Now, yeah, she's going to play this with a power draw. This is a type of shot you don't really expect these players to miss, but they can be missed. Not by her, of course. Have a look at this. Clean as a whistle. Now, if you're doing a exhibition and you want to show someone who's new to the game how to play that shot, that's exactly how you want it to be played. 3-0 in front on the hill in the first set.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, of course, to Shasha, but I kind of feel like she didn't really have to do too much in this match so far. Yet she's leading 3-0.
Yeah, that's another thing, of course, when you're an established player. More often than not, psychologically, you're already in front because, you know, your opponent is more worried about you than the other way around. So that's something I suppose we could say is to her credit, and her resume speaks for itself. But you're right. She's, I mean, have a look at the table time. It's almost even. And the ball's pocketed. You were right, Tim. She's only pocketed 3 more balls, but yet she's 3-0 in front. So that is well and truly the complexion of this first set. It's her opponent getting chances, doing most of the work, and then all of a sudden in steps Shasha Liu, and she takes the rack.
Well, the one thing I can say is I do like how Shasha is breaking the balls. The one ball is getting pretty close towards the left center most of the time. Nice space at it too.
Nothing down, and unless Sakura can come up with a great shot here. Hard to see. Well, I don't even think she can get to the putting angle, so it's likely that we're going to see Shasha back on the table.
Well, she might be taking this on. Now, don't forget, she could play a push-out, tap the cue ball technically anywhere on the table, and have her opponent make the option if she plays it from that position, yes or no. Maybe even Mess saying this. I mean, probably rather get the jump cue out than Mess saying this. Oh, she might have went for that 7. Good attempt. Any luck? Well, you could say second prize.
I must admit, I did not see that 4-ball combination safety, but she's landed very, very nicely there.
Well, in her defense, I'm quite sure she was trying to make that ball as well, so, you know. There's one thing we cannot avoid, and that is any fortunate rolls, of course. If only we had the cure to that, that would be great. Now, is she going to... Like, I'm wondering, what's the idea behind this contact? Cue ball could go in off as well. No, she just only tried to push the 10 in between. Has it gone far enough?
Now we can see. Yeah, I think the safety would be the order of the day here behind the 6.
Yeah, didn't get... Ooh.
But that's not safe.
Too thin.
And she should be in trouble after this next shot. Maybe, just maybe, Shasha will feel like there's value in taking this 1 ball on. However, jacked up, that already tells me she's trying to play safe.
Well, now, this is not something everybody likes. I mean, you're like frozen to the rail, almost straight onto the 1 ball. And if you drop in the 1, the cue ball is kind of following to where you could hook yourself possibly behind the 9. Well, it's not like the shots are coming up any easier, Arya. I mean, now she's checking up over the 3 ball. We'll have to put on a big stroke on this 1 ball. Probably low left draw away from the 9 into the rail, back out.
No, you're right, Tim. It's not getting easy, but something we cannot glance over is the fact that something you also alluded to is that her opponent is failing to punish any opportunity that comes her way. So LIU in itself is already a danger for the field. But when she's playing a type of game where she feels like she doesn't even have to produce the best, it feels like she's got many gears left in the gearbox. Even though that cue ball is lost momentarily there.
Well, 2 rail shape, needs a bit of right spin, but still got to make sure not to bump the 6. I mean, still, it's a tricky layout still. The 5 doesn't go by the 9 in the top left, doesn't go in the top right by the 7. So even if you could make the 3 and land somewhat close on the 4, what would you go for? You could play for a 5-7 combination, but there was easily a diamond in between, distance-wise. Or at least I'm assuming the 5 doesn't go by the 9. I didn't think so.
Well, she's come around to have a look at the putting angle, so it's hard to tell, of course, from this view, but either she's eyeing up, like you said, maybe try and putt the 5 off the 9, or is she looking at a safety, or it might actually go past the 9. If that is the case, then everything is fine. Yeah, she's eyeing up the putt, so she will be going for this, Tim. Yeah, it does go. You do feel, Tim, just for her own confidence, she could really do by finishing off this opportunity.
Yeah, this is a must, or she might lose the opening set.
It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. You never settle until you've put that first rack on the board. And it's not like she's not had any opportunities, that's for sure. So it would mean the world to her if she can just hold herself together here, clean the table, and just settle down, see what can happen. Now the only thing on this shot here, Tim, if she wants to play this with pace, off 2 rails, maybe even 3, now she would love to have some sort of an angle on the 9 ball. Doesn't want to fall straight on it. And that's why she's just drawn it in. Got a bit closer on the 9, and this angle works perfectly.
Would you go straight down, top left? Spin? Like just straight down?
Yeah, I think she's a left-hander. In this case, I would try and send it towards the side rail. Yeah, just like
ball.
that.
Cue ball a bit on the rail though, and straight. Shouldn't be a problem. But yet, she knows any mistake is costly.
Yeah, and it goes. It's an uphill battle, of course, Tim, but, you know, let's not forget, it's a race to 4, so winning 4 racks in a row is not the most impossible task in the world.
Yeah, the only player so far that could have had any break success is Shashalu. We will see MURAMATSU's first break for this match. Well, probably the best break we've seen the whole match. Nice and clean, the 1 into the center. Shape on the 2. And a nice controlled cue ball. Good break for MURAMATSU. Now, as I mentioned, obviously she knows that she won't be able to make any mistakes, at least in this set. It's laying for a run out, but yet traveling from the 2 to the 3 ball, 3 to the 4, and then a bit of work from the 6 to the 7.
Nice line for the cue ball. Like you alluded to, she'll need that cue ball on a piece of string because it feels like the first 3 or 4 shots there will be a lot of traveling for the cue ball. Yeah, going inside makes the shot and the positional side of the shot a bit easier. Wants that cue ball to travel though. This is very thin, I feel. Yeah, that's a lot thinner than she intended it to leave on the 4. So already this... Sorry, continue.
I was going to say, is she still going to go continue? Because how is she going to get on the 5 ball cutting this in? Okay, a hint of inside. Missed the 8 ball, the 8-7.
Gorgeous shot. Recovery shot, has to be said, but she played it nice. No. I wonder if she wants to risk hitting this one hard. Doesn't have to, of course. Yeah, leave yourself an angle. Now, needs to decide whether she wants to play a delicate positional shot. She can even drop this in, take the 7 top right. She can try and nudge into it. She can try just stun past it for the 7 into the side.
Yeah, she could play for the 7 in the same side, but she has missed one of those before. She's playing for it again, and also she will have to bump the 8 with this small angle. Not sure. I think I would have, if I missed the 7 ball before like this, I probably would choose to play something else.
Really?
Well, the shape on the 8 not guaranteed either. So she's going to have to put a bit more pace onto this.
It's hard to tell what type of an angle she's got here on the 7. Yeah, so she had to play the nudge, and these can be missed, Tim. These are not easy per se.
Well, the only thing I'm wondering is she going to let the stroke out? 2 rails, maybe around the 10, low left. Or is she going to just drop it in soft? And you see the shot clock now getting to her. Called her extension. And you could see also the reach. Not very easy to get to it.
She might go twice across, you know, side rail, and then the cue ball back towards this side of the table. Time is up.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she waited so long to pull the trigger too.
Yeah, and once again, as we've seen throughout the match, she's done pretty much the hard work. Leaves her opponent in with a nice easy shot. Just needs to put 3 balls and take the first set. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it sounds rude, but it truly is how this match has been evolving. I mean, every time she's opened up the clusters, she's played good stuff to all the way get there. But then now, these 2 balls, is she going to stop the cue ball? She looks like she's going forward to play the 10 into the center. Oh. Well.
Well.
Tail. Trying to bring the cue ball just a bit more off the rail.
Well. Now, how costly can that missed opportunity be, Tim? Because she should have won the first set, yet now at least she'll have 6 or 8 minutes of aggravation.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were expecting that 9 ball to be missed. Yeah. As you see, just a little bit wide into the corner. I think it's just because she was trying to bring the cue ball off the rail a bit more. Unnecessary, but she has missed it.
Yeah, she's majority of the stats, she's ahead. Sakura, more table time, more success on a break, even though she's broken far less than her opponent, so that makes sense. She's pocketed 11 balls more than her opponent, yet she's 3-2 down. This is why we've alluded to the fact that more often than not, she's done all the hard work yet fails to finish it off.
Oh, back to the chair, hoping for another chance. She will definitely get another visit to the table.
I did mention the equipment, Tim, but this is slightly off topic, but I like that little table they have next to the chair.
Yeah, I don't think we are supposed to push those brands as well.
Well, I think this is the first jump shot for Sakura we've seen so far in the match, so this will give us an indication how comfortable she is with the jump cue. These are definitely one of the most difficult type of jumps over the distance. Trying to hit it thin. Has she been fortunate?
Decent hit. Leave is not too bad either, I feel like. Most likely gonna see another safety. I don't think she can cut this and have something solid on the 2.
Yeah, from that angle, it was evident to see it would never drop if it hit the first jaw. Well, from this camera angle, you would feel like she can hit this full ball, play a power draw. Needs that cue ball to travel at least towards the 3rd diamond or further. Ideally, she wants to actually overdraw past the middle line of the table. If you draw a line from the center pocket onto the other center pocket. Going around the angles, and look, all things considered, she's not landed horrible here.
Yeah, things could have been way worse behind the 8, behind the 310. But yet, looks like she's quite straight on the 2. Just thinking, she has done most of the hard work in this set. For Shasha just to clear up the last couple balls. Is she gonna do the same thing? Because now she's putting in a good effort. 1, 2, 3. Most likely she's going to try and travel a lot from 4 to the 5. Maybe even interfere with where the 6 is laying. And I like offensive play, but maybe just play it safe behind the 10.
I know you do a bit of coaching as well, Tim. I'm just wondering if you would have a student that is in this similar type of situation, that they keep doing all the hard work yet falling short. How would you address that situation with them as a coach?
I mean, it depends. If we are actually like doing a practice session, I think it's way different than in a match. If you have a player, for example, that averagely runs 6, 7 balls, why would you let them start running out from the 1 ball? I would just say, listen, you know, only go for a run out if you feel like it's a guaranteed run out, and otherwise just play safe. Keep it simple. I mean, it makes no sense trying to run for... I mean, I'm not saying either of these ladies have this problem, but if someone's not capable of running 8, 9, 10 balls consistently, then that means they shouldn't be going after a rack with that many balls on the table.
Meanwhile, key shot coming up. I think, considering where she pointed her cue, she will be trying to attack that 6 ball. Needs to play this with a lot of side. She's trying to develop the 6 ball, of course. Could use the 9, and she's been unlucky there. She tried, rolled the dice, but didn't really get rewarded, so she'll have to play safe now. It's good enough to the point that it's not a clear-cut safety here for Sakura. Maybe she can just drift that 6 ball past the 8. Yeah, nicely done. Judge that shot well. And it doesn't feel like Shasha has that one railer available, so she's actually trying to hit the 6 off 3 rails, I believe. 2 at least. She's got the 6 into the side pocket, the top side pocket from this camera angle. And so I think she is, like you can see, eyeing up that 3rd rail as well. So that cue ball will be going close towards that first diamond. Up right to the bottom right corner pocket. Yeah, have a look. That was pretty much the line she had in mind, and this will work. Yes, she has left a potential bank shot here, of course. All in all, that was a very good hit. I do wonder if Sakura is tempted for the bank shot here. She hasn't called it yet. Or at least I did, yeah. Yeah, she's called a far bank shot here. So she'll basically trying to play safe here.
Oh, very tense 6th rack. I mean, of course, one player feels like, oh, I already had the chance to close it out. There was Shasha Liu missing the 9 last rack. And the other player feels like, oh, maybe I can make this a 3 each set. Well, I think this might be just safe. Won't be impossible to hit, of course. Even if the jump cue comes out, she'll make a hit. So she's playing for a jump cut.
Shot clock ticking down. Needs to move. Yeah, I think she's got a bit fortunate there, Tim. One thing I can say for guaranteed is Shasha cannot cue this comfortable enough with that 7 ball being a hindrance, but she is trying to cut this 6 ball into the bottom right here. So maybe she can see, yeah, she can just get through to the middle of the cue ball, but still that 7 ball is in your eyesight, doesn't make it easier. Good shot that was.
Yeah, she struck it beautifully, and now back in prime shape. Indeed, a lot of players, this is real good advice for amateur players, they would try to put themselves quite straight onto the 8. But then most of the time you're going to get just that little bit too much angle to stay with the 9. So it's a way better option to just give yourself plenty of angle. Now she has plenty of options, could go back and forth, could go to the short side, could also go to the top side. Key shot coming up.
Yeah. Main thing here is try and avoid sending your cue ball towards the middle pockets here. That's the biggest risk if you're playing from side to side. How's that cue ball? How is that cue ball?
Oh, down the drain.
What a gift. What a gift, Tim. She was 3-0 in front, and, you know, basically what is happening to her was exactly the opposite. Her opponent doing all the work and then making a mistake roughly around this segment of the rack, right, with only 1 or 2 balls left. Yet now she's done exactly the same the other way around. And let's be honest, there is absolutely no reason for Sakura not to tie this match up with ball in hand. So 3-all lurking, and we'll have one rack to decide who will take the first set. And let's not forget, we'll have another set at least, if not even 2.
Yeah, and that makes this a hill opener. Who would have expected this to happen? 3-0. Now 3 in a spin for Sakura MURAMATSU. She does have a 50% break success. Is this going to be that one side of the coin where she's going to make a ball on the break, and possibly the last time she did get a great shape afterwards. Well, there we go then. Probably the most important break of this match for Sakura MURAMATSU. Watch that one ball. And it stays up. Now,
Yet again, a messy layout. It's not a road map by any means.
yeah, difficult shot already. Cut into the side. Is she going to the short side of the 2-ball? Bit pacey. Well, I think it's just enough though. I mean, drop this in with top spin. We'll have the 3 into the center.
DJ is certainly feeling the groove. He's throwing out bangers now, all of a sudden.
Well, it definitely fits the tone of this match. That 2-ball just hanging up. I mean, imagine you're down 3-0. You feel like every time you get to the table, only after a couple balls you seem to struggle. And now 20, 30 minutes later, you're at 3 each. And you get this opportunity. And, oh, bit pacey. Bit pacey. Well, she's still on the 3-ball, but...
That's all you can make about it. She's still on it.
I mean, and I kind of feel like she has to go for it too.
Yeah.
Like it's so wide in the open.
Yeah. Drop this in. Pocket speed. In it goes, but I said pocket speed, but...
Well,
no. She cued it positively, let me put it that way, but she's not landed nice on the 4 either on the side, so...
Well, this 4-ball must go into the center. I mean, there's no way you're going to play safe at this point.
No, she is looking at the putting angle.
Well, don't think she's called a 4 in the corner pocket, but I think this is more of a safety than really trying to make the 4.
Yeah, that's not worked out. They don't calculate that unintended bump into the 8-ball.
Yeah, a bit pacey. Unless she played for the right side of the 5, I think it's a bit more risky, but definitely workable. I would say she's playing low right though. It's not easy to get any straight on the 6. Yeah, you would say one good shot here to get to the right side of the 7. This is potential set winner, this shot. Because with the 8, 9 and the 10 being near the 7, you would say nothing can go wrong. But she does acknowledge it. She has taken her time, her extension, extra time on the clock.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, should have the full corner, right? I don't think the 10 is anything in between. Yeah, with how nicely the 9 is laying over the corner. Ah, yeah.
No, this is over. This is first set for Sasha. And, I mean, we've seen this happen on numerous occasions when you have a top pro and, you know, their opponent is not really putting it up to them and they somehow get involved in, one might say, a sloppier set. All of a sudden, they start missing shots that, you know, they usually don't. But in the end, 3-0 in front. So it's go 3-all, still won the set. So I'm sure she'll be very relieved, and not sure, but feels like one of these two ladies is taking a timeout. Just have to wait as we see that replay on that 10 ball. Yeah, just a quick timeout by both ladies. So we're taking a 5-minute break, give or take. We'll be back shortly.
And welcome back, everybody, to this exciting match between Shashalu from China and Sakura Muramatsu from Japan. The first set ended up 4-3 Hill for the Chinese lady. And we're now just starting the second set. We're still playing races to 4, best out of 3 sets. 10-ball call shot, of course. No early 10 balls allowed. 10 ball will have to be the last ball pocketed. And it's Tim de Ruiter here, joined by Arya Sorabi. Welcome back, Arya.
Thanks, Tim. Well, the complexion of that match, for those who might have just joined us, Shasha Liu, who ended up winning the set, she went up 3-0, and, well, she was picking up the pieces, really. And then all of a sudden, the match turned around. She was all of a sudden gifting her opponent easy opportunities. She drew level 3-all, and then, as we saw in the previous rack, failed to punish her. So, needless to say, Tim, she will have to produce some good stuff if she wants to keep this match going. And if you're wondering what is coming your way throughout the rest of the day, you can head over to the Pro Billiards website and you can have a look at the schedule, which I'm sure we will have on our screen at some point. It's a action-packed day today. We've got a bit of everything going on.
Yeah, of course, we have the World 8-Ball Championship running. And this Women's Open. The mixed doubles is going on at the same time. We finished the Bank Pool Masters Showdown. Federgorst happened to win that. They went to the last ball, actually. Jason Shaw having a chance to shoot for the title. But eventually it did go to the Ghost. And here's the schedule for you. As you see, still a lot more to come. We will continue with the mixed doubles after this. Or, well, we will have one more men's 8-ball World Championship and then 2 rounds of mixed doubles today. So make sure to always follow us on other channels. Make sure to be subscribed on our YouTube channel, Billiard TV, Pro Billiard TV, and to set your notifications. Now, in the meantime, Matsu, I hope that after that break, she's going to step it up and not leave the last couple balls on the table too often like she did before. For now, she is well on her way.
Yeah, she'll need to, I don't know if she's got enough angle to do that, but she'll need to draw past the 9 just to guarantee herself she'll have a shot on the 8. Maybe she'll have to use a rail or 2. Yeah, going forward. So she is going from side to side. Same rules apply. Needs to hit this hard enough, and she's done that. Bit more distance, but in this case, she had too many other options, I would say. Yeah, that's in the middle of nowhere, in all honesty. I mean, she's got a couple of pots available. It's not like it's a total disaster, but nothing is straightforward to the point where you go, this is unmissable. Well, she's trying to cut this one back into the top left. This is not easy, Tim. But she made it look easy. That was a great shot. perfectly on the 10 ball. This is one of those where I would consider unmissable. So that was a very good recovery shot. And she takes the lead for the first time in the match.
Yeah, the only thing she will have to guard herself against, that's what happened when she played Savannah Easton yesterday, is she lost the first set. It's definitely gonna make you relaxed in the second set because you feel like it's so far away. You can just relax and play pool, you know, just see wherever the ship ends. But then she was 2-0 up and yet still lost the second set. Like, I feel like towards the end, the nerves really got to her. So the fact that she's now has the lead doesn't say much yet. I feel like she will have to push herself to the limit. No, ball's getting close, but no luck this time. Now, what do we see? A possible safety behind the 6? Or is that maybe too thin? No, I don't like it that much. Bit of a strange position to be in.
Maybe she's trying to put it off the 6. Top rail 6 ball. It's a very risky shot though. Don't think she has to play that in at this stage. Maybe she's trying to send the cue ball behind the 6. Yeah, nicely played. Although I say nicely played, I'm sure she's left a portion of the 1. Now she can push that 1 to the left side. Send her cue ball from the right side towards the left. There's a lot of balls available to block the 1. Might have to use her extension now.
Oh, could be speedy. Needs the 1 ball to slow down.
We do have to give these ladies a bit of grace, Tim. This match has been going on for quite some time, and it doesn't matter who you are or how fit you are. It does take a toll on your concentration and your energy level. It's not unusual that the concentration will dip at some points in the match. That looks like a better safety return. Now, can that 1 ball be addressed directly, or, well, she's got her jump cue already in hand, so airborne it is. Yeah, she's called the 1.
Oh, good hit.
Yeah, actually, this is probably the better side of the 1 to hit.
Yeah, Jürgen Sandman in the crowd watching. One of the WPA officials. Of course, we've got the World 8-Ball Championship running here in St. Louis, and It's a WPA sanctioned event. And there's no WPA event without any dignitaries, of course. Now, kind of feel like the 3-ball might be a bit in the way. And look at how nice that 2 and the 7 has come up as a combo.
Yeah, exactly. For a moment it looked like she might have just got away with it, but that's not the case. She can easily make that 2-7 combination like you alluded to, and it's all about controlling your cue ball as well as the object ball, of course, but that seems pretty feasible from this position.
Yeah, is there anything else? Actually laying not so great. I mean, she can play low left now to go into the long rail and out to play the 3 in the center. Maybe 4 to the 5, but I think most of it is just working the cue ball around and not so much the fact that they could hook themselves on this kind of layout.
Yeah, and rotational play in general, rule of thumb is you never want to land straight unless it's the final ball. Overrun that. Right, and hold the 3 into the left middle pocket. You have to attack it into stop right. And controlling the cue ball is going to be a challenge in itself, but let's not forget this pot is far from easy.
Yeah, nice and clean. But then again, queuing is awkward. Difficult to put your bridge hand over the 8-5.
Yeah, she's looking to send her cue ball into the center line of the table. If you draw a line from length to length. That'll work. Again, center table would do fine here from the 6 to the 8. Maybe she's a bit too straight for that. In that case, she'll send her cue ball towards the left side of the table. Just like that, nicely played.
Yeah, looking more confident now actually than in the opening set. Feels like maybe because she actually gets to run more balls now, she's gonna slowly start to get into more rhythm as well, because, well, if you only get to play 1 or 2 balls at a time, it's not really gonna make you get in stroke that much at the same time.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you make, Tim. I learned this, I believe, in practice. I think we've all done it at some point throughout our career when you're playing a practice game and, you know, you miss and you can just tell that, you know, it's 1 or 2 shots and you basically forfeit the rack. And I had a sparring partner. He eventually, after 2 or 3 racks, told me, he said, "Listen, can you stop forfeiting because you don't give me the chance to actually pot a few balls? It's just I'm trying to play the game as well." And that made me realize that what you're saying is, you know, even though you feel like, oh, it's only 1 or 2 shots, they also require some rhythm, some momentum, and like you said, if you can make a couple of balls and keep your cue ball under control, that also fuels your confidence and your rhythm. I don't feel, but you may correct me on this, I don't feel like Sasha has reached anywhere near her potential in this match so far.
No, and like I said, I mean, MURAMATSU made a lot more balls in the opening set, well, till like 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. It was MURAMATSU getting more feel, actually, queuing-wise. She doesn't have the full hook. What would you like to play? Maybe 2 rails behind the 4?
Yeah. Don't feel like she's got many other options. It's a risky shot, that's for sure. You need to judge the pace.
Oh, she tried to get the full distance. No. She's left it on.
Yeah. And I sense, maybe this is a wrong observation, I sense for the first time you can feel a bit of frustration or facial expression by Sasha. It's been a tough day at the office so far, even though she's, of course, leading this one in sets.
Yeah, I mean, 1 is, of course, to win the match, but number two thing on probably every player's list, or maybe even number 1 for some of them, is to just have a feeling that you're playing well. I mean, the top, you know, it kind of changes. Some players, they only just want to play well, and they will see what the result is. Other players care a bit more about winning, but I'm quite sure right after that, they feel like, I played well or I played bad, you know, like just the feeling that you're playing up to your standard. So important, you know, and very frustrating if you're not getting anywhere close. Ooh. Just on it, but a bit of a risk there.
What you were saying there, Tim, is a very interesting topic because they do go hand in hand, right? And let's be honest, of course, winning always counts more than form, but form also plays a huge part because, yes, you can end up winning, but knowing that, you know, I've got lucky or, you know, I got it handed to me on a silver platter, that might get you by 1 or 2 rounds, but eventually, because the confidence is low, you're going to come up short, you're going to miss easy shots at some point. So they do go hand in hand, and yeah, it's always fascinating to see who puts the emphasis on what, but I would argue in sports in general, the result is the only thing that matters the most.
Well, I used to be very focused on the winning part, of course, you know, like you're playing to win, and obviously at times you're just not going to play your best game, right? I mean, that's just going to happen. So even when you're not playing your best game, you still got to find a way to win. So I don't mind that perspective. But now recently I just like to enjoy and, you know, just try to play well regardless of the outcome. So indeed, there's always two sides of it. Now, this 4-ball is available, or at least contact on the 4 is available. But then now, to cut this into the center, we've seen her miss once or twice like this already.
What do you make of that shot selection then, Tim?
I mean, I actually was considering to play a safety on that. You know, just the angle is just so steep. And like I mentioned, if I have missed that shot once or twice before, and I just feel like it's not there to, I mean, possibly you wake up tomorrow, you feel like $1 million on that shot. But today she's missed it already a couple times. So then I like to turn it down at some point. Yeah, also, if you look at this layout, the only thing she'll have to do is make sure to stay on the correct side, the proper side of the 7-ball, because the 8 does not go by the 9, I believe. Unless she likes to go back and forth from the 7 to the 8, but if you can avoid cue ball movement, you should.
That was a very good shot. I was wondering what she was up to because it felt like she didn't have the angle to draw it in between the 8 and the 9, but she played that to perfection.
Yeah, looking to overtake the lead in this second set. There was a little bit of breathing space at some point, maybe for MURAMATSU, feeling like at least she has something to say in this match, but now she's already losing that. Because Shashalu will be 2 racks away from winning this match. And this is a loser round 2 match, so that means the loser of this match will drop out of the tournament. Shashalu losing to Brittany Bryant from Canada, 2-1 in sets. And as I mentioned, Sakura MURAMATSU losing to Savannah Easton yesterday. The initiative is with the Chinese area. Here's some stats for you.
Yeah, and you just mentioned that Brittany Bryant match. I was commentating that with, I believe, Ben, one of our colleagues, and that went to the shootout. That was quite some excitement, and yeah, Brittany took that one.
Yeah, now actually opting to break from the center, Shashalu. Interesting, was breaking from the side. Different perspective. Maybe feels like she doesn't get going because of the break.
That was a much better break. And she's got shape on the 1 ball, and that 2 ball is not blocked. Good chance.
Yeah, do we see any traps? I mean, the run out is on. If you think about it, you have to land quite straight onto the 6 to stay on the same long rail as the 7. To play the short side shape on the 8 to the top left. So there is a couple of shapes that have to be very precise.
Yeah, like you said, there are a couple of potential banana peels, but so far so good. I mean, a cue ball is looking very confident at the moment. And I suppose if she leaves herself a easy angle on the 5, getting that cue ball in between the middle of the 6 and the 7 shouldn't be too difficult for her.
Oh, she did get straight enough.
Now, I do wonder, Tim, if she try to get a bit closer on the 7 off the 6 or just keep it simple. Yeah, or she can cue it nicely. So you would think draw it back at least a diamond and a half would be better, just like she's done there. Makes the next shot a bit easier as well, doesn't it?
Ooh. Bit of nerves. This is to put her on the double hill though, so nerves are understandable.
Right, let's have a look at this angle here. I think she's eyeing up the 9 into the bottom right. Top right from this camera angle. Yeah, I think she can just avoid the middle pocket. Yeah, nicely done. Now, there was one shot in that previous set she missed. That was a lot easier than this one, actually. Left it over the hole, but you don't expect her to miss these type of shots. Nevertheless, these are not unmissable. These are not unmissable. Where's that cue ball?
What's the cue ball?
Wow. 2-0.
Yeah, so what could have been the double hill for Shashalu is now 2 each in this second set. I mean, MURAMATSU must be feeling like she's awful close.
That's been the complexion of the entire match, really, Tim. It's swung both ways, the chances, and I mean, either of these two ladies, if they can find some decent form, can still win it, because, like I said, both of them have had plenty of chances per set.
Well, the push to a jump. I mean, I don't mind the jump. My biggest thing is that you cannot do much more with the cue ball. So even if you stop the cue ball right there, the cue ball will be on the rail. The shape from the 2 to the 3 will be difficult. Now, any caroms or combinations on the 10 are not a win. The 10 ball will be respotted. Now, if she calls it and it goes in, of course, she may continue. I mean, I'm not assuming she will do it, but just making sure everybody is aware. It's not a direct win.
I'll tell you what, this might not be as tight as you think it is. For the, let's say, the average jumper, this is a very gettable jump.
Well, the real first, definitely an option too. Played it nicely. Looks like the cue ball is going to get on the 2, but not straight enough. She might have to run into this 3 ball.
And that
Good shot.
Yeah, and that additional nudge on the 5 has made this all possible to continue. I was just wondering if she could go forward here, in between the gap of the 5 and the 8, or draw. Well, I mean, if she's going to draw, it's going to be a lot harder in terms of pace in the cue ball. She can just slightly cheat the pocket, go forward with some left spin. A cue ball can come inside the gap of the 5 and the 8. Oh, she's going backwards.
No, did she hook herself too behind the 8? No, that not, but...
That's where the good news ends.
Yeah, I was gonna add something more to it, but the only good news is she has maybe a thinner on the 4, cue ball under the 5. But that's it for now.
this is a chance. Drop this 4-ball in, nothing to do with the cue ball. It will take care of itself. Now, considering the angle, as you can see, it's a much more sensible option to take that 7 into the top left. As we've seen over the course of these past 5 days, these middle pockets are very tight. She would have loved that cue ball to roll one extra revolution to have a bit more angle. So there's not a lot she can do in terms of getting away from the side rail. Might have to just settle with a stop shot here.
Well, I'm not sure if the 8 goes by the 10. From this angle, I would say yes, but the previous angle we got, I was starting to doubt it, but no, it's fine. Now, another chance to get herself onto the hill. Remember last time she did go at the 10 and scratched at the same time. She would love to get closer to the double hill. Is there any other opportunity for MURAMATSU still?
It's all about making this 9-ball and leaving your cue ball on the table. I mean, that 10-ball is sitting in a spot where it'd be hard actually not to land nice on it.
And that is now a 3-2 lead. A double hill for Shashalu. Yeah, what kind of opportunities will Sakura will still get? I mean, kind of feel like Shasha has stepped it up a bit in the second set.
Well, I mean, I see what you're saying, but when you look at the table time after 3 sets, it's pretty much even. So that also indicates she is getting visits at the table pretty much every rack. And as we can look up the stats by turning our focus on the break and runs. Not been too many of them either. So, you know, that does show both players are getting chances. I can see one break and run by Sakura. Yeah, and that's it. So both players are getting enough visits at the table. Just remains to be seen what they can make of it. Not every layout is the same, of course.
Yeah, makes the 1. Was about to get the ideal shape on the 2. A couple bumps, and now the jump cue coming out.
You know very well, Tim, that making the jump is not that difficult from this position, but getting shape on the 3-ball is going to be the biggest task here. Yeah, she got a bit of swerve on that cue ball. It spinned mid-air. Happens, you get a bit of unwanted side. Both ladies are being tested to the limit in terms of patience and, you know, mental fortitude.
What's to play on the 4? I mean, maybe the 4 does go in the left center, but then you already have to get the ideal shape from the 2 to the 3 to stun over for the 4 in the left center. It's not a roadmap by any means. And then also to get from the 4 to the 5, it's not like that's easy either.
Now you can see from the overview camera angle, that 4, like you said, does go into the bottom middle pocket from this camera angle. But like you said, you would have to land pretty much perfect on it to continue the run. Otherwise, you'd have to play some sort of a power shot to get your cue ball back in the open. There's also a case to say, play good shape on the 4 to play a nice tight hook in behind the 10. Ooh, maybe it's that 4-10 is a combination. How did we miss that one?
Well, I did consider that for a second, but it looks to be a bit wide.
It is makeable.
There's space between the 4 and the 10.
Yeah, she's called the 10 ball, so as long as she makes the 10, she will continue the run. It's not a win of rack, of course. I would be playing this with topspin, not backspin. That's unlucky. If that 10 ball would have dropped, this would have been a good chance, but that good chance now all of a sudden falls in the hand of her opponent, and she only needs this rack to finish off the match.
Well, do you remember what I said earlier on? She did get the ball in hand, but by using that ball in hand, she has opened up the whole rack. Like now all the hard work is done. If she can get nicely on the 5, it's right there. Just feel like MURAMATSU comes up with good shots and really works her way nicely through the rack. Then to trying to solve that one big problem and just not getting there.
Make no mistake about it, this is a clear-cut chance to finish off the match right here, right now. But that has been the complexion of this match. Both players are getting chances and chances and chances.
Did she still get somewhat of a hook? I mean, sure, the jump is on, but I think...
Yeah, I think she can even swerve this. That's not without any risk, of course. Yeah, I think she can even hit the rail first as well. Yeah, so she should be okay. It's all about controlling the cue ball, of course. Needs that to bounce, needs that to stop. Well,
it did stop. Oh, well, I mean, it's time to play another safety. You have to bank the 7 to the top short rail and get distance in.
I think she's out of extensions as well, so she needs to hurry up now. Foul? Was it? No, there was not a foul, but it was very close. She had literally 1 second left.
There is a final beep, but indeed, it was awful close. And well, the safety is all right. She might have even have... No, she did not get both sides of the ball covered, but still a long way to go running the cue ball 3 rails under the 9. Wow.
Yeah, that's not
Razor
safe.
thin.
That's not safe. Well, pretty much the same scenario. Making that 7 is not going to be too difficult. Can she control the cue ball?
Well, the nerves are definitely in this arena. Any mistake will make her drop out of the tournament, but she does have a chance to go to another hill set.
You do wonder, Tim, how much do these both ladies have left in the tank? I mean, if she can finish off this chance, which she should really, and then somehow win the next rack, we're going into a deciding set.
Oh, did she? Oh, she's come up too short. She will have to play this 10 into the top right corner, and the scratch is alluring for the cue ball.
I feel this cuts, you know. Oh, well. She's
Running out of...
3-rail bank shot. Play that with an element of safety. That's a good pace. But this is bankable. Remember David Al-Qaeda, World Pool Masters?
Well, she has that same idea. She'd be able to duplicate that shot. Kind of feel like you gotta shoot this to win. You know, there's no safety in mind on this. Oh, and it's there. What a steal for Sasha Liu. What a straight back she's made on there, and that is making sure she survives in the Seyberts Women's Open. This was a loser round 2 match, unfortunately for Sakura MURAMATSU. Her road ends here. So thanks everybody